How's it going, people of YouTube? I'm back today with another video. As you can see, I just put up a little bulletin board. And on the bulletin board, I've got top comments from the last couple weeks. So we have a comment from Ryan O'Hare. Would have been better with less Evan. I'll take that into consideration, Ryan. If you want to be put up there on the board, comment on this video, get the most likes, and I'll put it up there and feature it on the next video. Maybe we could like edit in some fire effect for cool comments. Alright guys, so today I have kind of a different sort of video than what I normally do. I've gotten some comments on my Instagram, like how to improve my 5K PR in cross country and stuff like that. So I figured I would go through what I did in high school, training I did, and the results that gave me, break it all down, and hopefully you guys can use that to run a little bit faster yourselves. So I'm going to start with my freshman year, back when I was living in Connecticut. My dad was my cross-country coach at the time for the high school that I was at. He would give out shirts according to how many miles you had run over the summer. So it was kind of incentive for athletes to run during that period. So me personally, I got the 300-mile shirt, which was over a 10-week period. I would run 5 miles a day, 6 days a week. And that was kind of a big accomplishment. We had some guys on the team who got 400-mile shirts, 500-mile shirts. But anyways, that's where it started. That's where I kind of created the base that I had going into that freshman year of cross-country. I had run before that, but never in such a structured program. So a little bit on the training that we did when I was a freshman in high school. We would do workouts such as 16 by 400 or 20 by 200 or 10 by 800. So each of these were at a different pace with a different rest. 200s, we would do a fast 200 in groups with people that were around the same time as us, and it was like almost like a sprint race kind of environment. And then we would get a 200 jog for recovery. Our big staple workout was our 400, and for these we would do anywhere between 12 and 20 by 400. And let's say we had to do 400 in like 80 seconds. That means we would get an 80-second recovery. So it was 1-to-1 work to rest ratio. And then kind of our strength building workouts were 8 or 10 by 800 meters. And with these we would get exactly 1 minute recovery. So short rest on these and longer periods of work. The high school that I was at actually didn't have a track, and so we would do these reps on the parking lot around school. And the route that we would run, we would start and we would run about 100 meters, and then we would do a 180-degree turn, run to the other end of the parking lot, 180-degree turn, and then back to the middle where we started, and that would be exactly 400 meters. Yeah, so those were some of the workouts that we would do. We would also do alternate easy days and long runs in there. Our long runs were on Saturday. I think I remember my easy days were between like 4 and 7 miles around, depending on how I felt. And we had a trail loop around campus that we would run, or we would just go out on the roads like normal teams do. In addition to this, we did core nearly every day, and then we did weights twice a week. So how did all this training affect me, and what kind of times did I run off of this type of training? Well, I would normally run in the low 18-minute range. A lot of the courses that we ran were very hilly and not marked super well. It's hard to get a good feel for what my actual 5K time would be. Some courses are long, some courses are short. That's just the nature of cross country. So in Connecticut at the time, there were 2 big races during the cross country season. There was our conference championship, which was a combination of small schools and big schools. I think we had maybe 10 or 12 schools in our conference. And then after that, 2 weeks after, was the state championships, which was the really big one. At our conference championships, I ended up placing 16th, which got me second team all-conference honors and top freshman in our conference, which I was super happy about at the time. If you make first or second team all-conference, you got to go to this really fancy dinner at the end of the year where everyone got honored. So yeah, 1730 at that meet, and then 2 weeks later, state championships. I remember not feeling super good during that state championship race, which may have been an effect of going really hard at the conference championship. I ended up placing 20th in the state championship, not exactly where I wanted to be, but still a good result for a freshman. I ran 18 minutes and 19 seconds, and that may not sound super fast, but anyone who's run Wickham Park, which is where the state course was in Connecticut, they know that it's a super, super tough course. So I would say that was a pretty successful season. I definitely trained super hard, and I love the structure of the training and the team that I was on. If I would have changed anything about this year, I probably would have trained as hard on the interval days as I did. I remember sitting in class the last block of the day, just dreading the 400s I would have to run in the parking lot afterwards. And I think if I had stayed in that situation, I may have burned out after a couple years. But when the next summer rolled around, my dad told us that we're picking up and we're moving. He didn't tell us exactly where we were moving at the time. He said it could have been Charlotte, North Carolina, could have been Virginia Beach, could have been a whole bunch of different places, but I didn't exactly know where we were going. And because of this, I really didn't have much motivation to train over the summer. I would do maybe 20 miles in the week. I would just skip days if I really didn't want to run that day. Not a super healthy training environment that summer. But eventually found out I was moving to a little town called Reiner, Virginia. Now in Reiner, I went to Auburn High School, which is also in the smallest classification in Virginia. So I went from one small school in Connecticut to another small school in Virginia. I had a good group of guys that I was training with there. We had one guy who had been one of the top runners in the state the year before. So I had kind of a perfect situation where I could train with him, and that would push me on to run and race faster than I would have otherwise. So I had varied success in the beginning. Running in smaller meets, I would get top 10 in the meet, top 5 maybe. I ended up running low to mid 17 minutes during the early and middle parts of the season. So I definitely made an improvement in my time. Was that because of the difference in training that I was doing? So I had a whole new coach. The coach that I was under now at Auburn High School, he had been a Division I runner, and he had us doing workouts. We would do 6 by a K on like a hilly neighborhood loop where we would get like a 200 jog recovery. That was like one of the main staples of our training. And he would also have us do this kind of odd workout that I'd never seen before. He called it the 8-lane workout. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but we would start in lane 8 and we would do a 400 and then hop in lane 7, and from where you would end on the track to where the 7 would start if you were running an open 400, we would jog from there to the start of the open 4. So it was maybe like a 30-meter jog recovery at the start, and then as you'd work your way down, the recovery would become less and less. And then when you got to 1, you would get no recovery, so you'd be doing an 800 straight, and then you would work your way back up, so you would get more and more recovery. Kind of a weird workout. Haven't done it since then. Don't know if I recommend it, but that was just something that we kind of did. In terms of fitness, I honestly think there was minimal gain during this year. I don't attribute the gains that I made to differences in training. I would probably attribute it to just becoming physically more mature. When the Virginia State Championships rolled around, I was in good shape, nothing crazy, but I didn't really know what to expect other than the fact that I was 20th in Connecticut, so I had a goal of being higher up because I didn't think Virginia was nearly as good as Connecticut. The race starts. I start out a lot slower than a lot of people and kind of work my way up through the race. So 2 miles into the race at the Virginia State course, there's this massive hill. I made a move there, passed a couple people, but I pushed too hard, and I ended up getting outkicked by like 3 or 4 people, and I got 10th place, which is a good result for a sophomore, but I think I was like the 3rd or 4th best sophomore at the state championships that year. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this and you want to see me drop part 2, leave a like down below. If you want your comment up on the board, post something funny, get it up there. I don't know what to tell you. Get your friends to like it. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.